Can the AirPods Pro 2 really be dethroned by the new PowerBeats Pro 2? Let's talk about it. All right, so first up, let's talk about the looks. We're all very familiar with the AirPods Pro 2. These are a very iconic, everyone knows it. We all know this design. Now, you pop these in, very low profile. You can pretty much wear these anywhere you'd like. They don't stand out. They've got the short stem. They fit right into the ear. Very easy to take around. Now, these new PowerBeats Pro 2, they've got a much smaller footprint than the previous version, and they are super sleek now, but they do have this ear hook, which is actually about 50% smaller than the previous version. Now, Beats went ahead and fixed one of the biggest problems for me with the PowerBeats Pro line, and that is the size of the case. You can see it is so much smaller now. This can go into your pocket, no problem. It is just so much easier. Now, when you compare it to the AirPods, I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? The AirPods are much smaller, so you're not worried about bulk at all. But the PowerBeats Pro 2 are so much smaller than the original that it's just so much better. Like this was a pain. I'm not trying to walk around like this. And thankfully, Beats was listening and they completely fixed that. But with this ear hook, you know, these look like a pair of gym earbuds or earbuds you take when you're working out, but they've gotten so much smaller that I think you can get by with taking these pretty much anywhere you'd like. And with this ear hook, comfort is going to be a completely different ball game. But what do you guys think? Do I look like I'm going to the gym because I'm wearing these? Yeah. Yeah, you'd say so? What do you think? You think they're just regular looking? Yeah. Let me take a look here. I think the ear hook definitely gives me working out kind of vibes. But like I said, they're so much smaller than the previous version. I wouldn't get mad at somebody trying to wear this with a business casual outfit. Check it out. These right here are the original PowerBeats. And if you try to compare these side by side, like just look at the difference here. It is insane how much smaller it's gotten. And there's just way more tech in here than what this had. I mean, the ear hook alone is 50% smaller. This is 20% lighter. And the ear hook also has like a nickel titanium, which should make it more flexible and durable. And you can kind of see the difference for yourself. PowerBeats Pro 2, original PowerBeats Pro. One thing I will say is that I felt like the original PowerBeats Pro were a little bit more secure in my ears. I think the bulk helped a little bit, but we're gonna talk about comfort a little bit more. I personally think these look a lot better. Now, you would think that this is a clear winner with the ear hook. It moves ever so slightly while it's in my ear, and I find myself adjusting a lot. It's not that bad. Like I can get around, walk around, and it's gonna be fine, but I will have to make micro adjustments. Like right now, I feel like it's almost about to pop out. Can I even be can I even be an earbud reviewer anymore? I don't feel like it's fair. But here's the thing though, whether my ears are deformed or not, if you ever feel like you need to slightly adjust it for your comfort, one thing that I've found is that I naturally go towards the back, and this entire back is now a button. So when you touch it, it's actually really sensitive, and you can play or pause your music accidentally. And I do it all the time. Beyond even the micro adjustments, I'm used to that. But the fact that every time I touch it, I play content or pause my content can get a little bit frustrating. Now, don't get me wrong, with the AirPods, I'm micro adjusting all day as well. So for me personally, these happen to stay in my ear a little bit better, but I do think for the average person, the blessed ones, I think they might find that this is probably gonna be a little bit more comfortable. It's gonna be a little bit easier to stay in their ear because of the ear hook. But if you just happen to be one of those folks who do a lot of adjusting with your earbuds, be mindful that this button is really sensitive. So I do kind of miss the fact that the old one, the whole thing wasn't a button in the back. It's easier to press now, which is nice, but the accidental presses are what makes it kind of hard. Now, one thing that's amazing with the PowerBeats Pro is that it has a dedicated volume rocker. So we have actual buttons here to control your volume. Whereas with this, you have those gesture controls. You can swipe on the stem, use force touch to play and pause versus the physical button that you have over here. I personally like physical control, so I think the PowerBeats got it in that regard. It definitely feels a lot easier to use this and interact with your audio than it is with the AirPods. For me, it's still a little clunky to try and control the volume. Play and pause is pretty simple, but I find myself going for my phone quite a bit more with the AirPods when I want to control my audio versus with the PowerBeats. I get to do most of what I want right here on the earbuds. Now, these are both Apple earbuds, so they're gonna share a lot of features. They even have the same chip built inside of them. So they're using Apple's H2 chip. Now, this unlocks all kinds of stuff, right? So now we have active noise canceling on the PowerBeats Pro, as well as transparency mode, those features that we just really wanted on these. They're finally here, but when you're comparing them with the AirPods Pro 2, they have those features. They also have that adaptive mode as well as that conversation awareness mode where someone speaks to you and you speak back and it'll automatically lower your music so you can have your conversation. And once you stop talking, volume comes back up. Lots of cool stuff here, but we don't have those features on this guy. Seems like something they kept for the AirPods. I guess you gotta differentiate them a little bit. Also, if you don't know, the AirPods do have gesture controls. So if someone's calling you, Siri might say, hey, Gene is calling you. Do you want to pick up? I can say with my AirPods on and it'll answer, and it'll send that call to voicemail. So really cool stuff here. You don't get that here either. And what's also missing is precision finding. Now, this does have Find My. So if you happen to misplace your earbuds, you can use the Find My app and have it ping the earbuds themselves, but the case can't use precision finding. And that is a really big deal for me in particular. And I'll be honest with you guys, I actually have the orange pair, but as of right now, I think my earbuds are inside of the case. I'm not sure if they're charged, but my app hasn't updated in 4 days, and I have to look for them the old-fashioned way, which is just not something you have to worry about with these. But one thing that this does have is the ability to pair up with Android. There's a dedicated Android app. So if you're not part of the Apple ecosystem, no worries there. You can use the Android app, which gives you access to a bunch of the features like the Find My features, as well as controls for the earbuds. But you also get multi-device connections. So if you want to pair this with an Android device and, maybe your laptop, you can do that here. But if you were doing that with, let's say, your AirPods, you're only going to be able to pair it with the phone. No multi-device pairing here if you're using this with Android, which honestly, I don't know why you would. But thankfully on the device front, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, these kind of work the same way. You'll jump between your different devices just as you have them in your ears and as you jump between like your phone to your Mac to your iPad. With your iCloud account, it'll seamlessly jump between all of them as you use them. And that is just so clutch between them. And I think the last feature that this has that this guy doesn't is the hearing aid. So with that hearing aid feature, you can take your hearing test with your iPhone and you can use that to boost your hearing. So it's a really cool feature, but also something that you're not gonna get with this. I get it though. You're gonna wanna keep some stuff over here versus here. But the PowerBeats Pro 2 does have something extremely unique under its sleeve. It has heart rate monitors built right into it. That is a first for a pair of earbuds, and this unlocks a lot of cool functionality. So just like you have that heart rate monitor on your Apple Watch, you can now do that all from the earbuds. And it's something we've never seen before on a pair of earbuds. So that is a huge plus for these guys. So if you're big on working out and you really want to be able to track that, but let's say you don't want to wear an Apple Watch to the gym or any other fitness tracker, you can get by with these if you want to track your heart. So that is also a huge plus for the PowerBeats since it has more options. But for me, active noise canceling did seem better with the AirPods Pro 2 than with these, but that's not to say the active noise canceling here is bad. Like I said, these are a pair of Apple earbuds, so they're sharing a lot of the same tech and you're still getting great quality. But if you are comparing, these are definitely the winner, but that does not mean that these sound bad. I'm happy we got active noise canceling and transparency on this, something we've been all waiting for. Now, of course, we gotta talk about sound quality, and I'll let you guys hear a little bit for yourself. Now, surprisingly for me, I felt like I got a little bit more bass out of the AirPods than I did with the PowerBeats Pro. Beats has done a lot to change the stigma that it's a bass-only pair of headphones or earbuds. I found that these gave me really crystal clear sound. I got more bass out of these, which is kind of what I like, but I don't know, these sounded a little bit crisper to me, but you guys let me know what your thoughts. You hear it for yourself. Let me know if you guys can pick up the difference. Now, when it comes to battery, this is the king. We've got 45 hours here and 10 hours on your actual earbuds, and then you can use the case to get a total of 45, whereas with these, you get about 6 hours and a total of, I believe, 30 hours. All in all though, these are the same price, but I gotta say, depending on your use cases, if you're someone who likes to be active, likes to work out, I'd probably say you want to use these just for the ear hook, just for being able to be a little bit more active with these. Although this has a better IP rating, you get dust resistance with this. If you're somebody who feels like your AirPods fall out a lot while you're working out, this could be the solution. Or if you're someone who isn't part of the Apple ecosystem in all of your devices, this might be the option that helps you bridge the gap a bit. Either way, you can't really go wrong, but if you want all of the features to be unlocked with your iPhone, you're probably gonna wanna look at these. But you guys let me know with a comment down below which you would choose. What would you go with?
Both.
AirPods?
AirPods.
Fair enough. Catch you in the next one.